Good morning, yogis, householders, others. Welcome to Wednesday morning yoga. Taught through Healing Journey Partners and in conjunction with SunWater Spa. This is the second class in the week's series on showing up. So for those of you who have shown up, the work is done. No need to come to class, the rest of the class. Check the box. Seriously, it's great to have you here. In the first class this week on Sunday, we talked about what the essence of showing up is. That is, not just the indicators that you hear, what happens in the body, how you feel, your sentiment about things, but actually what is doing the showing up. And when we're feeling aligned and connected, we know that the being that's showing up, the essence of us, is this higher self, often referred to as the inner self in yoga, or even the supreme self. And so in Sunday's class, we were working with the practice to get in touch with that inner self through Hatha yoga, through the movement, through the breath. And today is much the same. Although I'd like to introduce the class just by talking a little bit more about some of the conventional aspects of showing up. And it gets back to the old saying that, maybe 80% of the work is just being here, getting to the place that you need to be, or in this modern day and age, turning on your Facebook feed and having your mat out for class. There's a great difference between those who regularly show up no matter their mood or the things going on in their life, and those who don't. So physically being present goes a long way. And when we make the effort to set up an environment to be at a certain place at a certain time, it makes it easier if we're not in the best mood or feeling up for it to conduct the rest of the practice. And this is true not only in Hatha yoga, of course, but also in relationships with spouse, family, kids, relationships at work. Just showing up goes a long way. And when we take those initial steps, the rest of the steps tend to get easier, tend to help us open our minds, because really the human brain, particularly the subconscious, is just a huge patterning mechanism. It creates patterns that make our day-to-day functions more fluid so that we can have energy freed up for the higher functions of our brain. For example, we don't have to learn to walk when we get up every morning. If we had to learn to walk to get up every morning and move about, then so much of our space would be taken up by that activity that we would never really move forward in life. So that subconscious brain occupies a certain function for us that's really important. So an appreciation of the subconscious brain and the role that it plays in our ability to show up. Drop the eyes to a close. Bring thanks to that aspect of our being, the subconscious, that does so much of the work in patterning so that we can show up fully in other ways. I invite everyone to start the Pranayama practice this morning just with a smile. No particular reason. Just gratitude for being here. Now, if you're not comfortable in your seat, make an adjustment or two. I like to have a prop underneath my hips for pranayama. Helps me to line up the heels, express the knees toward the floor, really feel a firm base for the breath work. As you get comfortable in your seat, tune in. Feel what's going on inside the body. Notice all the sensations you can feel. And especially tune into how you're breathing without any conscious effort. Feel the mind start to wind down. Come to center. And now take your first conscious breath. Exhale. Get all the air out of the lungs. Exhale again. And then draw in a first big inhale. Notice the side body expanding, the back body and the front body all expanding with the breath. Get tall. Exhale again. At the base of the exhale, exhale again. Inhale, get tall. Lift the heart, feel the energy of the breath moving all around the heart, expanding. And freely exhale. Continue to double exhale for a few more rounds. And then lengthen the spine on the inhale, focusing your energy on the heart. One last round of breath, double breath out. Full breath in. Imagine the heart filling up with energy. And on this last exhale, we'll expand that energy, distribute it throughout the body with the exhale, and even beyond the body. Outside the skin, into the energetic body, into the room. Flutter eyes open. Bring hands to heart center and bow in. Open the shoulders. Bring the palms forward. Lift through the heart and turn your gaze up to the ceiling. And then clasp the hands behind your back. Bring the heels of the hands together. Continue to open the shoulders and move forward. Maybe you come halfway down. Maybe more. Really firm up the core here. And then on your next inhale, separate the hands, come back to an upright position. Lift the heart up, gaze toward the ceiling again. We'll do 2 more rounds. 1 breath per movement. The inhales and exhales here are rather long. But find a rate and a pace that works for you. Raise the arms up over the back on the front fold. One last one. Return to an upright seated position. Drop the hands to thighs. And now seated cat-cow. Starting with cow, arch the back, bring the chest up and forward, gaze up. Exhale, round the back, tuck chin to chest. A few gentle movements. We're moving a little faster, but still 1 breath per movement here. And now come back to center and circle your hips. At this point I usually remove the bolster. It gives me more of a full range of motion and helps me to keep my balance. Up to you though. Do what feels comfortable in the confines of your own home. Bring the hands up to your heart center and continue to circle with arms elevated. And now reverse direction. Find length all the way up to the ribs, up to the arms. Return to the midpoint. Drop hands to the right side, twisting as you exhale. Also drop the knees toward the floor. Inhale, raise your arms. Exhale, twist to the left side. Unwind. Come onto the back. Place the balls of feet on the ground with the hips close, or the heels close into the hips. The feet are in a flointed position. Bring the backs of the hands down to the floor, or for support if you'd like the palms, that also works. Backs of the hands tend to open the heart and the shoulders a little more. Lift the knees up toward the chest and bring the sacrum all the way off the floor. And then down. Create a pulse. Exhaling on the way up. Inhaling down. Avoid rocking here. This is really more about warming up the core and using the strength of the core muscles to lift the knees toward the shoulder. Lower back might come completely off the ground. 5 more repetitions. On this last one, hold the knees up towards the shoulders. And then cross the ankles and rock all the way through to a plank position. Hold plank. And now come down to the right elbow, then the left. Come up on the right hand, then the left. Come down to the left elbow, then the right. Left hand, right hand. Take your time coming down through chaturanga, elbows circle toward ribs. The goal here is to land the heart on the floor. Come to tops of feet. And relax. Tuck the toes, rise up through plank. Drop to knees. And move into devotional pose. Take a moment to scan the body here. Notice as we're warming up any tight places, things to pay attention to later, things to release now with your breath. Come up to table. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips in downward facing dog. In down dog, start by pedaling the feet. Get a nice long extension in each calf. Take your time. Feel all the way up into the hamstrings, into the hips, the lower back. Imagine your head almost twice its normal size, dangling down. Lift your right leg into the air behind you. Feel the extension and lift all the way in the lower back. And then take a step forward in between your hands. Lift the ribs off the thigh. Now drop the left knee. Come to the top of the left foot. In a lunge position here. Inhale the arms up. You might imagine the chest here like a beam, shooting its energy forward, and the back foot like a taproot, dug deep in the soil, grounding you. Arms to cactus. Turn your gaze upward and spread out your fingers as you lift elbows. Raise the hands once again. Bend over to the right. Here you're squeezing the thighs together. Also finding a long stretch, deep stretch in the psoas muscle, which runs from mid-thigh up over the hip and inserts under the ribs. This is what enables the body to bend forward, bringing the leg to chest. Inhale, press into both feet. Lengthen your arms. Bend to the other side. Again, keep integrity in the core here. This is what keeps you upright. You may even glance underneath your right arm up toward the ceiling. Separate the hands. Frame the front foot. Tuck the back toe. Walk back into plank. Chaturanga. Land the heart. Tuck the toes, rise to plank. Devotional pose. Really let the spine lengthen here. Pop up into table. Tuck the toes, lift your hips. Exhale, press into the hands, bring the hips back. Gaze between the toes for downward facing dog. Raise the left leg in the air behind you. Press down into the right heel. Reach. Lift. Step forward. Draw the ribs up off the thigh. If there's any collapsing in the hips, pull yourself up. And drop the right knee. Come to top of right foot. Lift, kneeling Anjaneyasana. Rotate pinkies toward each other, gaze up. And drop the elbows to cactus. Feel the chest expand as the elbows come in the direction of the back. You might already feel that stretch in the right psoas muscle this time. Lift the arms. Clasp hands. Bend to the left. This is one of those great poses in yoga where you can really feel the polarity. The thighs are squeezing together to keep the body upright and balanced. And yet there's a long stretch on the right side of the body. Full breath. Exhale as far out as you can. Inhale out. Bend to the other side. Right side this time. This is where the gaze comes underneath the left arm toward the ceiling. Separate hands. Come to an upright position. Frame the front foot. Step back into plank. Check your plank position. Let the hips sag. Overcorrect, bring them up. Exhale them down to level. Firm core. Come all the way down, landing the heart. In Makarasana, crocodile. Press gently into the hands and raise the upper body. For mini cobra, baby cobra, or cobra. Level the gaze forward. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale down. Let the heels track out. Inhale. Cobra or up dog this time. If up dog, take your time getting there. Roll the shoulders back and open. Shine the heart forward. Attempt to shift your weight to the base of the thumb and the base of the forefinger, rather than on the outside of the hands. You can stop shy of locking the arms. One more round of breath. Exhale down. Bring the hands down to the sides. Pinkies move toward each other underneath the body. Spread out the hands underneath the body and lift the right leg in Ardha Shalabhasana. In this pose, keep the right hip level. There should still be weight in the front of the hip on the arm. Exhale it down. Left leg up. Exhale it down. Both legs up together. Straighten the legs as much as you can. Exhale them down. Bring the hands out from underneath into a T position. Rest for a moment, full exhale. Inhale, upper body up, and the legs up. Fly from side to side. Lift again. Exhale down. Arms underneath shoulders. Take a full breath. Exhale, sigh it all out. Tuck your toes. Squeeze elbows into ribs. Plank. Downward facing dog. Counter pose. And whenever you're practicing at home, you're not guided by an instructor, make sure to counter pose. That means when you do extended back bends, like Ardha Shalabhasana, like we just did, or Shalabhasana full locust, or Cobra, afterwards do some forward folds, some bends. The duration of those poses need not be as long. Jump forward between the hands. And lift all the way to standing. But nonetheless, counterposing helps the body to reset. Exhale, hands through heart center. Forward fold. Palms to shins. Really feel the length of the spine here. Not just in the lower part of the spine, but all the way up to the cervical spine. A lot of times we yoga instructors look forward to see our classes, but ideally the head in this position would be just like it is now. Gaze straight down, exhale, forward fold. Press into both feet. Lift the heart all the way to standing and bring the right leg in the air. In slow motion, bring the right leg back behind you as you hinge forward from the waist into Warrior 3. Take your time arriving. It's okay if that right leg's not very high. It might even be touching the ground right now. Step forward and down. Hands forward, exhale. Reach up. Left leg in the air. Hinge forward from the waist as you bring the left leg back. Warrior 3. Take your time. Ideally, the right leg would be pretty straight here. Turn the toes of the left foot downward. Bring the arms up by the ears. The more you fold forward, the more you can lift the back leg. Ideally, you'll be breathing through the pose, not holding the breath. Step forward and down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, palms to shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise to standing. Arms up overhead. Step back with the right leg, one leg length, and line up your heels. Commit to the bend in the front leg for Warrior 1. Here we're drawing the hips in, creating a firm foundation from the feet all the way up to the hips. To straighten the front leg. Clasp the hands behind you once again. And fold forward. Parsvatanasana. In Parsvatanasana, you might imagine that your heart is leading the fold. Drag the back leg forward, bend the front leg. Once again, move into Warrior 3. This time the arms are bound behind the back. If and as you're ready, lift the arms. Even as you lift the leg. And step down. Unbind the hands, step forward. Reach up, back bend. Inhale up. Forward fold, exhale. Palms to shins. Forward fold. Inhale all the way to standing. Step back with the left leg. Heel to heel alignment. Bend the front knee. Feel the knife edge of the back foot contacting the floor. Exhale, hands down. Clasp them one knuckle off where you were on the other side. Straighten the front leg. Hinge forward. And bring that right hip into the midline. Core work here. Play with the shoulders. If they're out of kilter, get them as level as you can. When you're ready, lift hands over back. Exhale, find the fullest expression of your fold. And then drag the rear leg forward, bend the front leg, shift the weight, prepare for warrior three. Dive, dive, dive. Full breath. Step down. Unbind the hands. Step forward. Inhale up. Back bend. Inhale, straighten and lengthen. Exhale, you guessed it, forward fold. Inhale, palms to shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way to standing. Round up, head last. Hands to heart center. Arms overhead. Drop your hips. Lengthen through the spine, the arms, the neck. Utkatasana. Exhale, hands through heart center and bring the right elbow to the left knee, keeping the knees in the same plane. And the thumb embedded in the sternum. Shift your weight to the left leg. Raise the right foot and staying twisted. Step back. Hollow out the belly here. Rise out of the hips a bit. Come all the way to standing. Right arm forward. Left arm back. Hugging the hips in. Shift the weight directly over the lower body. Step forward, unwind, forward fold. Palms to shins. Weight forward into the balls of feet, spread out the toes. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, round up. Exhale at the height, back bend. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, drop your hips. Utkatasana. Inhale, lengthen again. Exhale, hands through heart center and twist left elbow to right knee. Hollow out the belly. Thumbs stay embedded in sternum. Continue to breathe as normally as possible. Shift the weight to the right foot. Lift the left leg. Step back, staying in the twist. Lift the elbows. Deepen in the twist. And then raise the upper body. Left hand forward. Right hand back. Shift the weight back over the hips. Spread the fingers out, reach with the fingertips. Unwind and step forward. Forward fold, ah. Say ah. Smile at the toes. Palms to shins. Ah, forward fold. Place the hands outside of feet. Step back, one foot then the other, or take a little hop. Plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Lift hips. Tuck toes. Down dog. Jump forward into a seat. Cross the ankles. Stick the landing. Big inhale, press into the sits bones. Bring the back to an upright position. Express the knees down toward the floor. Full exhale, ah. Encore. Come to the back. Round all the way down. Extend your legs. Cool for a moment in Shavasana. Take a few big deep breaths. Make the exhales longer than the inhales now. Calm the nervous system after all those intense twists and back bends and stands. Warrior 3 is one of the more challenging positions in Hatha yoga. And one leg balance, particularly with the arms behind the back, can be quite challenging. Maybe a little stressful, but it need not be. The idea in your Hatha yoga practice is not to get stressed, obviously. It's not necessarily even to calm down. It's just to achieve that presence, that focus, complete awareness of your form, of the activity of your mind. Let go of any attachments to an outcome, to a way you appear to fellow students or family and friends at home in your practice. To come to clarity about how you're actually showing up. Bring the knees up towards your chest and rock side to side. Massage your kidneys. Massage the backs of the hips, the sacrum, the spine, mid-back. Let your head move in the opposite direction of the knees as you rock side to side. Come back to the midline and lengthen your lower legs so the soles of the feet reach up toward the ceiling. Place your hands underneath your hips for support if you'd like. Legs up the wall. Flex the heels up. Spread out your toes. Now bend the upper legs. Bring them at a right angle. Bend the lower legs. Bring them at a right angle to the upper legs. Good. Take the hands out from underneath the hips. Drag them out like a snow angel. Fingertips come right behind the ears. Lift the elbows as well. And now bring the upper body off the mat, off the floor. Keep the legs at a right angle. And down. Up and down without using momentum for the next 30 seconds. It's like you're trying to place your heart between your knees. Little exhale as you come up. Ten more seconds. Extend the legs, bring the hands underneath the hips once again. Exhale the heels toward the floor on a steady, slow count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands come out from underneath the hips. Soles of feet together. Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring the insides of the knees together, soles of feet to floor. Hands underneath hips once again. With the fingertips and heels almost touching, and the thighs moving in the direction of each other. Lift your hips into Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. Modifications here can include rotating the shoulders underneath the torso, clasping hands, pointing pointed fingers down between the heels. Keep the gaze fixed on the ceiling. Like you can even come up onto balls of feet, lifting the hips higher. Exhale, heels down. Hips on top of hands. Lengthen the legs on the mat. Bury the elbows once again. Lift up onto elbows. Pressing into hands, forearms. This is Matsyasana or fish. In fish, lift the heart as high as it can go, and then begin to open the front of the throat. Express the top of the head toward the floor. Exhale the head up. Let the back come down. Feel the back of the heart on the floor. Remove the hands from underneath the hips. And grab the right knee, right shin with both hands. Draw the right knee around the ribs toward the right armpit. And single leg wind reliever. Switch sides. Exhale the left knee toward the left armpit, around the ribs. The right foot, the right leg here is active with toes facing up toward the ceiling. Meanwhile, the hips stay completely on the floor. Release the left leg, bring it down to the floor. Draw the knees up again. This time lift the chin between the knees in Apanasana. Inhale, back of head comes to floor. Release the knees. Extend the legs. Shavasana. Notice how you're showing up now. How embodied do you feel? If you feel disembodied, one grounding technique can be to move the hands in such a way that maybe the left hand is over the heart, the right hand over the belly, and gently press down. Generally speaking, after a full practice like today, you may feel more embodied. Wherever you are, make no judgment on it. Simply notice what these signals, feelings of embodiment or disembodiment, what they say about how you're showing up. Tune into the breath now. If you're still breathing consciously, or if the breath is completely on autopilot, either way, simply notice. Most important thing here is to accept exactly where you are. Know that all needs are met. Everyone together, breathe in through the nose. As the breath reaches its 3/4 mark on the way in, retain the breath. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale out the nose. Inhale again, 75% of the way in, retain. Press the back of your head into the floor. Press the heels of the hands into the eye sockets gently. Clench the jaw. Make a face. Keep holding the breath for 3, 2, 1. Release the hands from the eyes. Relax the neck, the jaw, the face. Inhale again. Exhale, sa. Inhale, 3/4 of the way in. Drag your shoulder blades toward each other underneath you, opening the heart. Clench the fists, firm forearms, tight abdomen, corset together the muscles in the ribs, the intercostal muscles. Hold everything for 3, 2, 1. Exhale and let it all go. Full breath in together. Exhale, release it. On this next inhale and retain, we're going all the way to ground. As you inhale 3/4 of the way, and begin to retain the breath. Press the heels into the floor. Rotate the thighs toward each other. Insides of the shins meet. As you continue to press the heels into the floor, lift the hips up off the ground. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release. Surrender the hips downward. Let the toes splay out. We're entering Shavasana now. Make some space between the hands and the hips with palms upward in receiving mode, receiving energy. Let the body air out. On the count of 5, we'll achieve a deep, deep state of relaxation, surrender. 5. Every aspect of the body that has felt tense today is now at ease, at peace, relaxed. 4. The mind feels supple, joyful. There's an inner smile going on. No work needs to be done. 3. Feel the body rise and fall with each breath. Life force moving in and out effortlessly. 2. Any management function of the brain can be abandoned gleefully as your whole organism, your whole body-mind comes into rest. 1. The body is completely heavy, relaxed, warm. At the level of each cell, there is ease. And 0, we are completely and utterly relaxed. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. I bow to the highest self. Begin your return to an embodied state of awareness. Swallow. Move the tongue and the mouth. Lift the shoulders up toward the ears. And exhale, set them back down. Move the head left and right. Make fists and then open the hands. Bring the toes back toward the nose, pressing into the heels, and then reverse. Wake up the extremities. Raise your hands up over your head. The backs of hands come to the floor. Reach up through the fingertips, press down into the heels. Stretch, stretch. Exhale your way onto your favorite side, right or left, in the fetal position. Notice how you're showing up now. No pressure, no judgment. Just being accessible to life. Available to experience. Present, connected. And when you have the heartfelt sense of this, make your way to seated. Eyes closed, hands at heart center. Legs crossed. Feel the sits bones on the floor. We'll inhale together, pressing into the sits bones, lengthening the spine. And on the exhale, we'll say the sound of Om. Inhale. Om. One last time. Lift hearts, open eyes. From my highest self to your highest self. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste. May the light of awareness shine inside and out. Be in my heart always. Thank you for coming to class. I look forward to seeing you Thursday, tomorrow, for Manitou Meditation Immersion at 5:45 p.m. And again on Sunday at 9:30 Mountain Standard Time through SunWater Spa's Facebook Live. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of the week. Be well. Namaste.